Okay, just to show you how versatile one little branch can be. This is live wood now, but it's dead. It's fallen live wood. It's only just fallen, this tree. So the first bit I've got here is about twice as thickness of my thumb. A knocking stick. Very handy tool to have around camp. The next one is I'll turn that into a skewer for meat tonight. And these two, I'm going to split down the ends so they're about the thickness of my thumb. I'm going to split them down the ends and make candle holders. So I'll show you how I do each of these now. Okay, so just because you're in the woods doesn't mean to say, sorry, I'm not the camera. Just because you're in the woods doesn't mean to say that you can't find other resources. Obviously someone's had a go at building a shelter here and they've left a load of string, so why not use the string instead of, you know, make life easy for myself. It's not cheating, it is, well, it appears to be actually natural string as well. So I'm just going to take a bit of this for what I need to do up there. There we go. That should do me for the whole weekend. Well, that didn't take much. Comes off like paper on an old tree. Yes, it is wet, but it can be dried out. In fact, if it's not brittle, I've got an idea for that back at camp. Okay, so all I've done is rolled the knife basically around a piece of wood. This is going to be my camp knocking stick. All I'm doing now is taking the outer bark off, and all I'm doing this for really is to differentiate it between every other bit of wood, every other twig or whatever you want to call it. In the woods. That didn't sound right, did it? Anyway, differentiates it between everything else that looks like this. That's the right way of putting it. Basil's having a good time. He's watching me here. Oh, there you go. We call him Basil. James Tracy Cook will be pleased with that because he's got a dog called Basil. He's got a ginger dog. Don't see very many ginger dogs, do you? Right, there we go. And all I'm going to do is get some of this kindly donated cordage from whoever built that shelter. And all I'll try and do is whip it, get it in the centre-ish. Give myself a bit to play with so I can tie a knot. You can hear the seagulls, I don't know what they're doing up here. So I'm just going to do some lashings of this now. Basically make myself a handle. Okay, so just done a couple of lashings round, tied some big old granny knots in the end of the pigtails, just pull it through. There we have a bashing stick. Now what I'll do now is just take a bit of the bark off the end, tidy up the end, and then I'll be able to see it visibly more better. there it is, finished. Just by coincidence, over here, I created myself a little hook so it can just hang on there. Right, I'm going to use it for the next thing I'm going to do, so bear with me. There's Basil watching everything that's going on. Okay, so that's them two done. Got splits down. Don't know if you can see that, but there we go. I've split them down so far. For this, I don't need to lash it here, I don't think. I've put a couple of crude points on the end. Now, with my birch bark, see how it naturally wants to go. I think it's that way. So I thought, with it being Valentine's, you might need a knife for this little job. Try and show you what I'm doing. I thought I might make some candle holders, obviously, because of course with Bushcraft, there you go, with Bushcraft we like to make things. I mean, I could lash that if I wanted to, keep it in there, but to be honest with you, that's okay for one. And I know I'm waffling again. There's no need for it, Andy, so shut up. That's a better one. There you go. So, Basil, we've got ourselves some moonlighting. We've got Basil, we've got ourselves a couple of candles and holders. So take two, sorry. So I've just made myself a skewer out of some hazel. And all I've done is taken the outer bark off. The outer bark off to stop any parasites or anything like that getting into the meat. I'm going to use chicken. Our ancestors could have used anything really. You can do you can cook like this, any meat, but basically barbecue style, primitive barbecue style. Left myself a little handle there. I'm just going to clean that bit up in a minute. Nice sharp point, and then we'll skewer some meat and do it over the fire later on. Let's see if I can take that end off, see if this knife's as good as what I think it is. And it is. Like I say, Mora knives, absolutely brilliant. I've got this thing. The plastic thing goes inside. That comes with a Mora. It is designed for a Mora. I think I paid about 20 quid for this leather case for it. And then obviously I've got my ferrous rod and my striker on there as well. Now, with it being stainless steel, I got a stainless steel one because it won't rust primarily. I'm not sure if they're full tang. A tang means that the blade's there and then they have a piece that's attached to the blade, well, part of the blade. Usually, sometimes you can have a little knobble like that inside the handle. Sometimes they're half tang, so you've got quite a bit of distance, and a full tang is all the way through, which gives the knife better strength. So I'm not sure about that. If anybody knows about that, then you can please comment. Leave a comment for me if you know Mora knives are full tang or not. It's not really relevant for me. Like I say, it's done everything I asked of it. And it's quick release as well. It's on press studs, so I can take the whole thing off if I need to. Very easy to put on. I'd like a similar a similar one for the backhoe saw that I'm using. So that's my fire starter. That's pretty much all there is to it for that kind of kit. Okay, so I'll just show you what is on the menu. I've got my cook set as normal. The Yellowstone one. Fire's going good now. Didn't take it very long at all to get going. Right, okay, in there I've got some I think it's paprika, mixed herbs, that kind of thing. Just something I made myself. In here is not Saxo table salt. It's actually some salt I made myself by boiling seawater. For anybody that wants to try and make your own salt out of seawater, when basically you boil the pan dry, keep your eye on it, don't let the pan go brown, but just be aware as it starts drying out, the salt, the actual salt water starts spitting as it creates salt. So just because I had to clean up my mate's stove after I made it, but I've got a little bit of sea salt. I've got a couple of apples, a couple of what are they, satsumas, something like that. I've got an onion, I've got baked potato, which I might do tomorrow night. I've got some veg, I've got some chicken that I'm going to skewer, and I've got some eggs. So I thought I'll have a go at making bannock. So I brought the ingredients here and I'll bring you back in a second. Okay, so all bannock is really, I mean, this is really an experiment. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm wearing gloves for obvious reasons because I've been messing around with wood. Right, so I've got some margarine in here. I've got some dried milk, so I'm going to put all that in. It should be 2 parts. This is self-raising flour in here. I'm not sure if you're supposed to use self-raising or plain. If you use plain flour, I would imagine you'd have to use a raising agent like baking soda. So I'm going to do 1 part dried milk, 2 parts flour, a little bit of salt, mix with that and water. That's all I'm doing. So I'll crack on with that and I'll bring you back in a sec. Take 2. A little bit of salt. And then some water. Let's try that much for a start. Just makes the whole process a little bit cleaner and easier using these bags. And all I'm going to do is mix all that around till it becomes a dough. Might have to add a bit more water. I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, so I've got a dough-like consistency. Now I'm just thinking about how to cook it. I might wrap it round a stick, and I might add some actual different ingredients to it. I might just add some of this stuff, give it a bit of zing, give it quite a lot. And just mix that in as well. There's like paprika and garlic salt and things like that. It gets a bit sticky, so just been adding a bit more flour. Put it on my arm. Never a good sign. And then I'll roll it into a sausage when the embers are getting ready for cooking on. So I've just prepared it really. I'll roll it into a sausage and wrap it around a stick and then see how we get on with that. So I'll leave that for the time being. I'll bring you back when I do something else with that. I'll just put it to the side for now. That kind of boiling water, putting your pan straight onto flames will blacken your equipment. Like I've said in previous videos, mine are pretty black anyway. They've got copper bottoms, these ones, as I've said before, but all mine, I try and clean them up the best I can, but it's just inherent in this style of cooking. Just going to do myself a couple of OXO cubes to drink. Getting very peckish now, it's that time of night. It's 4:45, be going dark soon. So I need to try and show you as much as I can today for what I'm about to cook while it's still light. I don't like watching videos. I know there's nothing that can be helped about it, but I don't like watching videos of people trying to do stuff in the dark, because you can't really tell what's going on. So that's the kettle boiled, or the water boiled should I say. Leave that to one side, and I'll have to go and find my spoon. So I've just diced me chicken up into fairly big chunks. I'm just going to sort my onion out now. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. Bring you back in a second, folks.